Hello, everyone. And let me start with a simple question. How much revenue does your store earn, but never actually collects? Because in e-commerce, there is a painful gray zone, the almost purchases. Someone shows intent, views product, maybe even adds to cart, and then disappears. Recognizable, most businesses treat that as a normal, but it's actually the most expensive leak you might have because you already paid to bring the person in and then you let them go without a single attempt to bring them back. Today, we will be speaking not about sending more emails. We will discuss installing a safety net exactly where your revenue leaks. My name is Yana, and I'm the head of digital marketing at Yespo, an Omnichannel CDP. And I've spent 13 years watching e-commerce businesses losing sales because they are afraid to change. That is what we are exactly fixing in Yespo. We make new and proven marketing tools for attention, easy to use, affordable on the market, and effective to each exact client. We work with over 4,000 brands across 76 countries, and we see the same pattern again and again. Many teams keep investing in acquisition, while the fastest growth often comes from recovering customers who were already close to buying, like my friend says, low-hanging fruits. So, breaking down the problem. On average, 70% of visitors leave the site and most of them never come back. And acquiring a new customer can cost 25 times more than retaining an existing one. Think about it for a moment. You invest in advertisement, sales, social media campaigns, and bring people to your store, and then most of them disappear before you have a chance to convert them. It proves that by losing sessions, and customers, businesses lose their real money. So today, sorry for that. So today we will look at the moments where people drop off and how to fix it. Yeah, and when businesses noted this drop off, their first reaction is usually predictable. Once I was told about a case, and the pain point of that company was that clients were leaving the website and sales were low, quite usual. A marketing director was convinced that the problem was in traffic. So the team increased and spent more for ad. They launched new channels, but sales didn't move, which exactly made ROI terrible and much lower because nothing changed. They just spent more. Then they looked deeper and found the real leak. 80% of visitors disappeared right after viewing a product page. With our team together, they discussed that maybe they should try launching one workflow just to test. And they chose, which software was browser abandonment, and suddenly recovered 20% of additional revenue. After that, they implemented 17 triggers more, and the revenue became even more higher. But let's discuss the lesson. Sometimes growth isn't about more traffic. It's about catching the demand you already paid for. And that starts with understanding where customers exactly disappear. So our short plan for today is simple. Learn what trigger the emails are, what triggers are, and how they work. Discover the most profitable triggers for e-commerce. And see how to make those triggered communications even more effective, drive even more revenue. So customers don't disappear only at checkout. Hope you know. They can drop off at almost every step of the journey. Someone views the product and leaves, someone subscribes to email but never comes back, never reads your mail, and some even reach the checkout page and still abandon the process. Every one of those moments represents the loss of potential revenue. So the key question becomes, how do we catch customers before they disappear completely? And the answer to this is installing what I call safety net across the customer journey. Instead of waiting and hoping the customer returns, you build automated triggers that respond to their behavior, or like some actions or not acting at all. And if someone leaves after viewing a product, you remind them about it. If a cart is abandoned, you help them complete the purchase. If a customer hasn't visited for a while, you re-engage them. And it's not only about sales, it's about taking care of your clients. It's about loyalty, about increasing of lifetime value. And it's about personalization, actually, because they receive your personalized reaction on what they do. And if you haven't noticed, personalization is a trend, like, I mean, 3 years already. So triggers allow your brand to respond at exactly the right moment when the interest still exists. And that's why this communication is so powerful. Most brands rely heavily on bulk promotional campaigns. They send newsletters or promotional offers their entire audience at the same time, which is not bad. But as we see from here, it's actually not enough. Bulk promotions have volume but low engagement, and triggered and transactional messages are the opposite. Fewer sends, maximum relevance, and the stronger performance. They appear exactly when the customer takes an action. Triggered emails consistently outperform regular campaigns, as we see. They generate 4 times more revenue. Their open rates about 70% higher, and click-through rates are over 150% higher. In some e-commerce businesses, triggered communication can account up to 20% of total revenue. Wow, just imagine that. And let's break down what is trigger actually. It's simply an automated response to a customer action, or as I said, not action, or behavioral change. When a customer views product, abandons cart, or completes a purchase, the system reacts automatically. The key idea here is relevance. Instead of sending messages when it's convenient for the brand, triggers allow you to communicate when it's relevant for the customer, and it doesn't take a lot of time of marketing specialists, because you spend a lot only while setting up those triggers, testing them, and then they run autonomously completely. So you don't need to track what different users do. The system does it for you. And this timing, when it's right, makes a huge difference. Let's break down. I break down a lot today, how it works on the example of this workflow. So we have an event that launched the campaign. What did they meant? Peter added boots to the cart, and then perhaps was distracted by his colleagues or maybe his children, anything, and forgot to or postponed the purchase. And as we already know from our stats, probably he will never return, or he might buy from your competitors. And this is the start of configuration of our workflow. As you see it, it's shown as it looks like in system in Yespo CDP. So the start configuration is no purchase after adding to the cart within 8 hours. You can choose what is more relevant for a business. Then system sends ready made abandoned cart message with the boots and CTA like you forget this, complete the purchase, and so on. Waits 1 hour. Again, it's all adjustable. Checks whether the purchase was made. If no, sends, for example, SMS with the cart link. Or it can be like another supportive channel in Omnichannel workflow. And then purchase happens. When marketers hear about triggers, most of them think immediately about abandoned cart. Well, that's obvious. Me too. Sorry. And yes, abandoned cart is extremely powerful, but it's only one part of the picture. Customers actually drop off much earlier in the journey, and the abandoned searches, browsing sessions, categories, and wish lists are only a few of those actions that can actually work as a trigger, which means there are many opportunities to bring them back before the cart stage. There are three main types of revenue loss in e-commerce. First one, lost intent. A visitor shows interest, views product, but leaves without buying. Second one, lost transaction. A customer adds products to the cart but doesn't complete the purchase. And the third one, lost customer. A person buys once, then disappears. And the good news for each type of revenue loss, they're triggered workflow that help bring those customers back at the right moment. And here you can see the real example of the results of one of our customers. And despite on next slides, I will show you like the champions in e-commerce. Here we can see that this business has its own champions, and the top conversion trigger is cart product discount, but you already can see that business is not stop on one trigger, but use a lot of them. Depends on their audience and depends on their goals. So next question will be obvious. If there are dozens of possible triggers, which one actually drive the most revenue? At Yespo, we analyze thousands of active triggered workflows across e-commerce brands to identify which scenario, which workflow consistently perform the best. And maybe the results might surprise you. What you will see next is not just a theory, it's ranking based on real performance data of our clients. Let's start from the number 10 and move toward the most powerful one. Number 10 is win-back campaign. This trigger focuses on customers who simply disappear. The workflow activates when a customer hasn't visited the website about 30 days, so you can change it, adjust. Instead of sending a generic promotion, what is the most important? The email reminds them of product they previously viewed and adds personalized recommendations. The goal here is simple: restart the relationship before the customer forgets about your brand entirely, but not with the simple email, hey, come back. But to show that, hey, remember you were watching this and this, maybe you want to return, or maybe you want to see the relevant goods for you, and it works much better. Even though the scenario targets inactive users, the result can be impressive. I guess a lot of marketer specialists know that win-back campaigns are not always sufficient, but with our AI-powered recommendations, and when they're made in time, the results are really impressive. In some campaigns, we've seen over 8% of inactive contacts return and re-engage. That's a lot for an active audience. Number 9. Number 9 is price drop for viewed items. This scenario works when customers showed clear interest in the product but didn't purchase it. If the price of that item drops within the next few days, the system automatically notifies the customer. The psychology here is powerful. The customer already wanted the product. Now the price gives them to finish the push. And that's why this trigger often converts extremely well. Number 8 is back in stock. This trigger is very important not only for sales, but for usability and for loyalty. So imagine a customer finds a product they want, but it's unavailable. And even more interesting case when it's available in some sizes and unavailable in others. Many brands simply lose that customer. But with this trigger, at the moment the item becomes available again, the customer receives a notification. You're essentially catching the customer exactly when the barrier disappears. And that's why those messages often generate very strong conversion rates. Number 7 is next best offer. This trigger focuses on customers after a purchase. The workflow typically activates 7 days after an order, when the initial excitement about the purchase is still fresh. The email suggests products that are frequently bought together with the item the customer just purchased. And those items are proposed by our artificial intelligence, and those offers are highly relevant. This is one of the simplest ways to increase customer lifetime value and to finish the second purchase, because the easiest sale is often the one made to someone who already trusts your brand and remembers the cooperation with it. Number 6 is special offer automation. This workflow usually runs on regular schedule, for example, once a month. But the key difference from traditional promotions is segmentation. New customers might receive an incentive for their second purchase. Active customers receive personalized promotions. Inactive customers receive a stronger motivation to return. In other words, the same campaign adapts dynamically to different customer states. Number 5, we are like already coming to the half of our list. Number 5 is price drop for items in the abandoned cart. Here, the system tracks products that were added to a cart but not purchased. If the price of those items decreases within a certain time window, you set it, the customer automatically receives a notification. This creates a powerful combination of existing intent and new urgency, and that often leads customers back to complete the purchase. Number 4 is new arrival announcement. This trigger works particularly well for categories like fashion, beauty, or electronics. If a customer previously browsed the category but didn't buy anything, the system can notify them when new products appear in the category. This keeps your brand relevant without relying on discounts. Instead of pushing promotions, you're simply giving customers a reason to return. Here I would like to stop a little bit more and explain why you're seeing an email with some strange words without any recommendations or photos of items. This is how the dynamic content in the email looks in the system. Why no goods here? Because when you will send when such automated email is sent, system dynamically puts in this email the items chosen specifically for each client. So each client will receive the same email, but this dynamic block will be personalized and different for each client, and you don't need to do anything. You just need to have AI recommendations set on, and magic happens. So number 3, we have 3 leaders now. It's price drop for similar products. Sometimes customers don't purchase because the product is slightly above their budget. This workflow identifies similar products in the same category and notifies the customer if their price decrease. It's essentially a way of saying, you like this product, here's a more affordable option, and that dramatically increases the chances of conversion. Number 2, surprise, surprise, is the classic abandoned cart workflow. This trigger activates when a customer adds product to the cart but doesn't complete the purchase within about an hour or more. We already discussed how it works, so I will not stop here, but I will stop a little bit more on the performance because it's remarkable. Abandoned cart emails often reach around like 45% of open rate and over 20% click-through rate. In many cases, 10% or more of recipients complete the purchase after receiving the message. And when you combine email with channels like web push notifications, recovery rates can increase even further. The key takeaway here is simple. When someone leaves the cart, the purchase decision is already very close. So your job is simply to remove the friction and remind them. It's not even your job, it's a system job. If you want system to do it. So, and finally, the number one trigger in many e-commerce, in most e-commerce cases, is abandoned browse. This workflow activates when the customer views product but leave the site without purchasing. Unlike abandoned cart, this happens earlier in the decision process. And as you remember, our funnel with each decision process, it becomes smaller, narrower. So obviously, at this stage, we have much more users that didn't drop off. So we have more chances to communicate. But the volume of those visitors, is much higher, which means a small conversion improvement can generate substantial additional revenue. And that's exactly what we see. Abandoned browse emails typically show over 80% high open rates and significantly higher click rates compared to bulk campaigns. Revenue per message can be almost 3 times higher, simply because the message is extremely relevant to the customer recent interest. In several e-commerce projects, we've seen open rates for browse abandonment emails reach like 40, 50% or even higher. So, however, triggers alone are only a part of the picture. And as I promised, I will tell you today also how to power them even more. To unlock their full potential, they need to be combined with customer data and personalization. Without that connection, each tool works separately and the results are limited. But when triggers, segmentation, recommendation, and other tools of customer data platform are united, the effect becomes much stronger. Just like here, many companies use multiple marketing tools that are not fully integrated, and that's a pain point of a lot of clients who come to us on a consultation or on a product demo. One system manages email campaigns, another tracks website behavior, another generates product recommendations. Here, you lose the opportunity, those systems, to learn each one from another and to collect the data they have after interaction with the user in one place. And that's why you don't know a lot about your customers. You can segment them, you can't personalize your communication. So it influences a lot on retention, on LTV, and so on. When those systems don't share data, the communication becomes fragmented. This also a huge problem we might have here, because a lot of e-commerce customers are complaining on fragmented communication. What does it mean? It's when you receive different experience and different communication in different channels. When you communicate within omnichannel strategy, it happens like in different way. You receive an email, then some web push that continues the subject of an email. You go on the website. On the website, you see relevant recommendations because the engine already remembers what you are interested in, what kind of recommendations would you like to see. Then you browse and leave, and then you receive some abandoned browse trigger that continues the communication. So in each touch point, you receive flawless experience. And this is very important because customers don't care that you have separated channels or separated tools or separated system. They only care about themselves, and that's all. So customers receive messages that don't fully reflect their behavior. It's a problem, and that means a lost opportunity again. We speak a lot about lost opportunities today, but as well as how to recover them. The most effective approach is combining those elements like triggered workflows, advanced segmentation, omnichannel approach, and AI-driven product recommendations. When those work together, the impact is not additive, it's multiplication. And many brands see set up 3 times higher ROI from their email programs. And don't forget that trigger-based workflows are not only about emails, especially when you target audience like Gen Z. And in customer data platform in Yespo, you can set a trigger as an event in any channel, as well as send your message using one of them. What does it mean? This means that not only those typical classic triggers exist, as I said, some of them might be customized, and maybe for your business it's important to track, like for example, how they interact with your message in I don't know, in mobile push or Viber or another channel, not email, and not even within the site interaction. But for example, for me, it's important. I want to send the triggered email when my user pushes the button yes on the web push notification. Okay, so here we have the trigger that calls the event, and it's in a channel. Not it happens in a channel, not on the website. And as well, this communication might go in email or in another channel. Like, as I said, you can use one channel or all of them in a row. And another very important thing to tell you about a little bit closer is product recommendations, and it's one of the major growth drivers as well, not only for trigger-based campaigns, but also for bulk emails, for website conversions, and so on. Modern recommendations analyze browsing history, purchase patterns, and similarities between customers, similarities between goods, and so on and so on, like a lot of patterns that can be analyzed by a person, by a marketer. Based on this data, they generate highly personalized product suggestions. Those recommendations can appear everywhere across all channels, and they can generate a significant share of total e-commerce revenue. For example, our clients receive up to 20% of additional revenue through this channel. And now the good news is that implementing this approach, trigger-based workflows, automation, doesn't require complex infrastructure from day one. Platforms like Yespo integrate easily with e-commerce systems like Shopify, WooCommerce, or Common Next OpenCart, or through web tracking scripts and APIs. This means that you can collect behavioral data and launch triggers relatively quickly. The key is simply to begin with the right strategy, choose right triggers, and so on. Do you need developers? Well, it depends, because if you integrate with Yespo and you are on e-commerce system like Shopify or WooCommerce, it's kind of really easy. You just install and system starts tracking. If you have like customized website, a little job of developers depends on how your product feed looks is required, but it's not much. First, second, we have integration team that helps with this. So anyways, it will not take long. Like, we are speaking to start running first triggers like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Depends again on how your product feed looks like. A strong automation strategy usually follows several steps, and let's break them down. First, you need to define your main objectives, where there is increasing conversion, improving retention, raising average order value. You will need that to find the priority and not to over spam your audience. Then analyze the customer journey and identify drop-off points. This is also important. And what is great that you can do it with CDP really easily, because CDP collects data from all the channels and all other resources and from your CRM and so on and so on. So you can actually check like this customer was looking for this, was browsing here, then he, I don't know, read this email, interacted with this message, and then dropped off, for example. Or with the help of combining Yespo and Google Analytics, you can also track what they were doing on the website, and then create a real specific your own business customer journey and find those bottlenecks that needs to be fixed with the triggered communication. Next, segment your audience and select triggers that match each stage of the journey, which is also important. And after that, you simply launch workflows, create communication workflow that will automatically launch on which customer actions. You test those workflows and analyze the result, which is also very important. At this point, you might be thinking that sounds great, but where should we actually start? I would really recommend you to start with speaking with our specialists, customer success specialists, sales specialists, because they will help you to understand everything and to set up everything and get what you actually need for a business much faster. But according to this webinar, I would also like to give the basics for a start, because implementing dozens of workflows at once can feel really overwhelming. The good news is that you just don't need to launch everything immediately. In the most e-commerce project, there are 3 triggers that can already recover a significant share of lost revenue, and they can usually be implemented, as I said, like in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The first one is abandoned cart, then price drop, then browse abandonment, and actually even using those 3, you can recover up to 10-20% of revenue that would otherwise be lost. So if you're just starting with automation, this is the simplest and faster place to begin, as for me. And as I already said, when I was new to that, I thought it looked like really complicated. I've seen those automated workflows and thought that I probably need some specialist to explain me how it works. It was a long time ago. Then workflow editors in such systems as Yespo were not adopted, were not user-friendly. Now it's not like that. You have seen the workflow in the system. It's quite clear, understandable, and even a marketer without experience can launch it. The good news is that our company helps all the clients who purchase a professional plan with the ready-made triggers to set all those ready-made triggers they require. But again, I would start from speaking with our team, because we already know proven frameworks and best practices. We already made mistakes and will help you not making them. And as we work with a lot of e-commerce businesses of different types, we understand and we know that some products and some businesses need a customized approach in choosing triggers. So if we want, we can map your triggers. So contact us, subscribe for a demo, and that will be the best option to save your time, I guess. And that was all I wanted to share with you. Oh, one another thing. I hope you already subscribed on our notifications, because in a month, I guess, my beautiful colleague will have the workshop, and she will show you like exactly in the system and tell you how to launch two profitable triggers. Which ones is a secret, I will not tell. So follow our news, wait for our advertisement, and come to our next webinar just to learn how to do it. That's all. I'm ready to answer your questions if you have them. Okay. Sorry, I don't know your name. How can we avoid sending too many automated messages? Yeah, that might be a huge problem. That's why, as I already said, you need to make the priority for triggers, and it's really easy to do in Yespo. So you tell the system the rules, how it sends triggers and our mails. For example, you put the highest priority for the most profitable triggers like abandoned cart, abandoned view, and the system understands that it shouldn't send some kind of bulk campaign or not so important trigger also. And you can also set a frequency for your campaigns. In Yespo, it's also easy to do. What it means, you just like tell the system that you don't want one user to receive more than one email per day, because you should understand that it doesn't include transactional emails, of course, about the order status and so on. But sometimes even not even, but especially in big companies, there are some different departments, for example, retention department, PR department, and so on, and they can meet with their campaigns. And I don't know how about you, but I feel the situation and see it from a lot of brands I'm a customer of, which that I receive like two push notifications, one mobile notification and email, and then I go and browse, and in the same day like three more emails, and it's a little bit disturbing. So as I said, you can fix it by having a plan, choosing the relevance for your triggered communications, and setting up the limit of sendings to each. Yeah, that's all. I hope I answered. Okay, what metrics should Paulina? Hello. I hope I read your name right. What metrics should we use to measure trigger performance? Sure, as usual, like typical ones for other campaigns work here good as well. I've shown you like a lot of them, like conversion rate, click-through rate, open rate, and so on. But the most important, I would name that generated revenue by the workflow. In Yespo, you can see like for each trigger separately how much money it generated to you. So I guess that's the most important for you to understand, because in future, like maybe you would like to change or to add some. Yeah. That's all. Thank you. How do Piotr? Hello, how do AI product recommendations actually work in triggered emails? I already talked about it a little bit. I will repeat. So we have like AI agent based on the transformer model with the large learning model, and it analyzes all the data that is collected by the CDP. So browsing, purchase history, and lots more. And when you create so how it all works, what you need to set up a triggered workflow. Yeah, you need to create the exact workflow in the workflow editor. Then you need to create emails and other messages that are required for your workflow. They will be like stable. You will not change them unless you want to change them. And then you add to those messages dynamic blocks for where AI generates their recommendations. And those recommendations, we had some clients that were testing triggers with recommendations and without recommendations, because like they were it was their point that they know better. They are marketing specialists, know better than AI. And actually like 3-4 years ago, I had doubts in AI as well, but because it's something new. But actually, predictive artificial intelligence is not new. It's like, I don't know, 40 years old or something like that. Don't think about it as about generative AI, which is actually much younger. So so about test, yeah, return me please to the question. So the tests shown that sadly to people and marketers, AI generates more relevant recommendations, and clicks on those recommendations blocks are 2-3 times higher than on the blocks generated with marketing specialists. Sorry. What kind of data do we need to launch behavioral triggers? So obviously, we need to understand what customers do on our website or in app or in any other channel. For that, we use web tracking. And as I already said, for WooCommerce and Shopify and OpenCart users, it's even simpler to set it. Like you just install the plugin and work with that. But not as hard for others. So you set up web tracking and another data, and with that web tracking, you receive all the behavioral data. Then the second one, you will need the product data, product feed, and you also give it to our integration team. And with the help of that product team, CDP and AI understands what kind of products, what similarities it has. For example, to send recommendations like you might also like, or for a trigger that is sent after purchase and offers also relevant purchases to the previous purchase. So first one is the data about user and what they do, users, and second one about products you have. I mean, that's all. Okay, thank you for your questions. Thank you for warm welcoming. Was really happy to share some knowledge with you. See you soon. Come back to us.